first. Amanitvam Adambhitvam
Amanitvam
Ahimsa Kshantirarjavam Acharyopasanam Shaucham Sthairyamatma Vinigraha. First value that Lord Krishna prescribes is Amanitvam, meaning the absence of Manitvam. Amanitvam can be simply translated as pride. Amanitvam means absence of pride. Pride generally arises from having certain qualifications, for being too much aware of those qualifications. A sort of inflated vision about oneself. Atmani pujyatva buddhi, that's how it is explained. Looking on oneself as someone great, respectful, to look upon oneself in that manner on account of some qualification, this is called Amanitvam, pride. What happens is that this pride results into demanding respect. So this tendency or this need, let us say, of demanding respect from others is what is here interpreted as Manitvam, pride. That pride definitely shows a certain kind of inner difficulty. The need for me to announce my qualifications of greatness, so that somehow I am not very certain about the greatness that I possess. I do not quite accept myself or respect myself, and therefore there is need on my part to announce or declare my greatness in order to gain an acknowledgement from others or approval from others that I am great. So in demanding respect from others also, there is that inner need of getting approval from others. Because when there is a demand, then satisfaction comes when my demand is satisfied. So when I am demanding respect from others, my satisfaction will come when I get that respect that I am demanding, or I need in fact. This demand of respect, you said yesterday, arises from a need. And any need shows inner insufficiency, or my perception that I am insufficient without a given thing. When I feel a sense of insufficiency or incompleteness, then it becomes important for me to fulfill that need. If I feel that I am insufficient on account of lack of respect, then I demand respect. And when that demand is fulfilled, then I feel happy. If not fulfilled, I feel unhappy. So whenever an expectation is there, either it is demanded outwardly or Manitvam can be within myself. In my own mind, I may be demanding respect. I may not be revealing that. But inside I expect. And when that expectation is not fulfilled, then I feel hurt. So this Manitvam demand of any kind, and so much so the demand for this respect is likely to bring about a lot of hurt when the respect is not forthcoming. Sometimes people do not know that we want respect, and therefore they, unwillingly or inadvertently may disappoint me because they do not know what my expectation is. sometimes a person may know what my expectation is. So why should I have to respect you? So knowingly that I want respect, they may not extend it. Sometimes in extending respect to me, they may feel that their own respect is diminished, therefore also they may not offer respect, If I bow down to you, then I am lower than you, I don't want to be. So, we have many kinds of expectations. One of those expectations is expecting respect. This goes with every expectation that I have. But this demanding respect is something that comes out in our interaction with the other people. And particularly if I am enjoying a certain position of respect, a position of authority, a certain recognition from society, then this demanding respect becomes a very, very prominent thing in my personality. And any kind of demand has a potential of not being fulfilled and creating hurt in me. And so also this demand for respect is all likelihood creates hurt in me. So whenever we feel hurt, we should ask this question. What demand is not fulfilled? And so this demand for respect also is more likely to create hurt than satisfaction. Demands are more likely not to be fulfilled than they are fulfilled. Either because there are limited things and there are many more people demanding. They will like others, like me also, who also needs demand respect. And people offering respect may fewer, or whatever. As I said yesterday, people may not care to respond. Or even if he shows respect to me, I may not interpret that as respect. Because when you show respect to me, by getting a rising when I come in, then next day I will expect that you should. Third day I will expect that you should bow down. Meaning that when the need, this is a usual rule. Like fire cannot be satisfied by pouring butter in there. So demands or any need cannot be satisfied, it always becomes more intense. And the point comes when the world is incapable of fulfilling my need. They have done all they can do, and then my need always keeps growing. So this business of any need, and in this particular instance, the need of demanding respect can only result in hurt and misery and nothing else. So as we said yesterday, we observe our mind and identify this tendency if we find it to be there. And everybody has it, by the way. Everybody has Amanitvam or pride or need of respect in one degree or the other. Nobody is exception. As long as it doesn't cause much conflict and I can deal with it, so long it's okay. If there is a desire and I can deal with it, if it's not fulfilled, I can be alright. Then you can afford, in Puja Swami's word, you can afford to have that desire. If it's unfulfilled or desire doesn't cause any heartburn, then you can afford. Better not to have it, but you can afford that. But when the unfulfilled desire causes pain in me, then I cannot afford. We recognize that I have this need of respect. And we said we should resolve it by Pratipaksha Bhavana. Bhavana is the attitude. Paksha means position. Prati means contrary or opposite. So by deliberately taking contrary position, now the pride arises because of what? Because of some qualification that I possess. I am a tall person, a fair person, a handsome person, I'm intelligent, I'm learned, I'm strong, powerful. So I may have one or more of these qualifications for which I feel proud. Why do I feel proud? Because I take ownership of those qualifications. I take credit for those qualifications. I think that I am something because I am handsome, I am fair, I am tall, I am a scholar, I am a scientist, I am a doctor, I am so and so. So then, this is taking the ownership. That's what causes pride in me. So let us analyze where does the ownership belong. That I am a doctor, a successful doctor, and be happy about it, that's good. Self-respect is one thing and this pride is another thing. To respect oneself for what one is quite alright. So that I have a sense of self-dignity. When I have a sense of self-dignity, then that dignity makes me conduct myself in a dignified manner. Therefore, a certain awareness of one's identity is quite alright. In the Vedic culture, in fact, we are giving them identity. It's called the rite of passage samskara. In most cultures it is there. That now this boy is given Upanayana. He is called a brahmachari. Brahmachari means a sense of responsibility. That now you must do this and you should not do that. A husband, a wife, a spouse, responsibility. So every identity creates in me a sense of dignity and responsibility that I can no more conduct myself in an unbecoming manner. When I was just a child running around, I had no responsibility, I could do anything, eat anything, whatever. Wake up at any time, brahmachari. Now wake up at this time, perform these religious functions and serve your teacher, or whatever is involved. Means with every identity goes responsibility. And it makes me a responsible person. Makes me conduct myself in a dignified manner which behooves of my identity and dignity. So that kind of respect, self-respect is quite in order. Makes the person responsible. Although a time has to come and that also has to go. But right now we are talking about inflated self-respect. When I take the credit for the qualification that I possess, then should analyze that, let us say that I am a doctor and a surgeon, better than others, and well-known surgeon, therefore. And you know, when these fellows walk in, you have to look at them. You can't talk to them. You can't ask any questions to them. I'm not talking about you, but this is how things are. If you ask any question to a doctor, they will hurt. What do you mean? They never tell you what they are going to do. Surgery, you can't ask them what are you going to do. Now, what do you do? Nothing. It is in India. That's how it is. The one example of how people have an air about themselves and how they exclude other people and they create themselves, a certain distinction. Not realizing that creates distance from others. When you distinguish yourself from others, you may have a certain sense of pride and something special about you, but then it divides you from others. You become more isolated. How do you feel? When nobody talks to you, you walk like that, and then you don't want to look at them. But how do you feel when nobody talks to you? Ultimately, they won't talk to you. Right now, you don't want them to talk. Then ultimately, they also give you up. So, this is how by this prayer we are isolating ourselves. We may have a temporary satisfaction of asserting my authority, asserting my importance, controlling, dominating. All of that is a losing game because nobody wants to be controlled and nobody wants to be dominated. And therefore, they may outwardly show some respect and stuff like that. Inwardly, behind my back, they have a different opinion. Of all proud people, this is how it is. So I should look at this. How I'm torturing myself by maintaining this kind of attitudes. And secondly, what am I proud of? That I am an accomplished surgeon, accomplished lawyer, accomplished this, that and so forth, that I may be. But can I take the credit for that? Or how the whole world has contributed in my attaining a given accomplishment? I may be very proud of my scholarship, but when I was born, I did not even know a word of the thing. And my mother spent so long to teach me the first alphabet, or first letter. In Gujarati, one is a difficult thing. In English, straight one. So it must have taken how long for my mother to hold my hand again and again and again. And that is how it be. How many people work so hard to impart education to me, and now I claim some. But then, if I look at the authorship, then all these people also have contributed. And this is true of any accomplishment. Who am I to claim the ownership of my body, that I am a handsome person? Who gave me this body? It's a gift. In the words of Puja Swami, it is given. Body is given, sense organs are given, mind is given, intellect is given. Yes, Swamiji, but I use my intellect. The capacity is also given. I use the capacity, but even the inspiration or motivation also is given. So ultimately, we will find that everything is given to me. I have all the freedom to enjoy the privilege that I enjoy. Well, I have, you enjoy them. But taking credit for them, ownership makes no sense at all because it is only ignorance or delusion. To believe that I am the owner of that. So owning and having a sense of ownership of my qualification is what causes pride in me. When I realize what all and who all contributed to whatever it is that I possess, then that pride is replaced by humility, a sense of gratitude. I am grateful that this is what my mother did, my father did, my teachers did, so many people did. Enjoy what you have. But there is no need to have pride to enjoy them. Enjoy what we have with humility. So humility arises from looking into the realities of life. And we should always be aware of the grace and favor that we are enjoying constantly. That I can walk, our Swami used to say, don't take anything for granted. That you can walk and talk, all of this is grace. Every moment we are enjoying grace. Used to say, open your mouth, then you can't close it sometimes. There's a locked jaw. Close it, can't open. And therefore, anything can happen. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam bharata nimeshat kalas sarvam. Says Shankaracharya, that don't be proud or arrogant about dhana, about your wealth, jana, about your following, yauvana, about your youth, and whatever. Bharata nimeta, time can rob away anything next moment. Anyway, that we don't want to have that negative picture. The thing is that We should understand the reality of life. Not afraid of things, but be grateful. Be humble and be grateful. And that is the solution or antidote for Amanitvam, for pride. So Amanitvam, first value, humility, first value. Then comes Adambhitvam, next one. Dambha means pretense. To pretend to be different from what I really am is pretension. And this also is there in the whole world. Every day we hear the stories. How people are presenting wrong, certificates and getting admission into some universities and stuff like that. Presenting documents about one's accomplishments and getting employment, etc. When you investigate, you find that there is nothing in there. These stories are abounding. They are all the examples of Adambhitvam, pretending or showing myself to be quite opposite of what I am. Showing the qualification that I do not possess. So between Mani and Dambhi, the main difference is that Mani or a proud person possesses qualifications because of which he is proud by taking ownership of those qualifications. And Dambhi or a person who pretends does not possess qualifications and then displays the shows, pretends to have them. Both of them have the same need of respect from others, of acceptance from others, of respect from others. This basic human need is there. As long as I am ignorant, so long I am going to be needy. And that need on my, because I feel a sense of incompleteness, and therefore there is constantly a need to become free from the sense of incompleteness. That need alone manifests in various ways. First way that the need manifests is in demanding respect. Is also a need coming from inner incompleteness or inner emptiness, inner insufficiency. And then worse than that is this demanding respect by feigning, by pretending, by cheating, by making a show of what I am not. And again, understand that everybody has this in one measure or the other. The Amanitvam pride also we have, Adambhitvam also we have. In nature, there is no pride. In nature, there is no pretension. This camel, is considered to be one of the ugliest animals. For whatever standard we have of beauty, the camel is considered ugly animal because there is so many crookedness. It can be so beautiful, just as an example. People don't have much respect for buffalo also, whatever. But they don't care, they don't try to show that, there's no plastic surgery for buffalo or camels. And I don't do that. Human being, some race has always a complex about their nose. And so people of this race invariably go to plastic. That's why plastics has a lot of business. Because of the complexity that I have. Because of the inferiority or the insufficiency I feel, which I do not want world to know. The proud person declares his sufficiency. The pretending person has insufficiency which he wants to hide. Not only wants to hide the insufficiency, but wants to make a show of greatness. We are all pretending. The very fact that we are wearing clothes, nobody in nature wears clothes, isn't it? All the beauticians and all these shops that you have, they would not have the business. If you didn't want to change the color of the hair, eyebrows, eyelids, nails. Our Swami used to say that identification of the body creates, every part of the body creates complex. Being from head, there is sufficient hair or not, from there on. What's the color of my hair? What's the density of my hair from there? To the nose, to the lips, to the stomach. Every part of the body creates a complex and sense of insufficiency, smallness, a complex. At every level I am trying to show, I am suffering from that complex, and I think that people will spot it. I do not want to know people to know my inadequacies, insufficiencies. I want to present myself as a complete person. Who is that complete person? Swami used to always quote that. What is it? Raymond, complete person. It's a sad story of human. It's really sad. It's a human being creates all suffering for himself. If you look at the nature, there is no pretension. Be just open to what you are. No, but what will people think? They will respect me. They will reject me. So much concern about rejection by others. Non-acceptance. Such a need of being accepted and approved by others. Because I don't approve of myself. Since I do not approve of myself, therefore a strong need of being approved by others, and that brings about pride on the one hand or pretension on the other hand. And then I have to cheat others, I have to lie. So Swami would give an example. So this person was away for a few days, and his friend asked, "Hey, where were you?" The Prime Minister called me, for some consultation. Whereas where he was only he was helping his brother-in-law move his house. He claims to have written books and stuff like that, but all he has written are the letters, asking only for loan from his relatives and friends. So, this is a funny way of saying, but the idea is that I don't know, such a need to look great in the eyes of others. One thing, or to hide my defects or blemishes and create the appearance of some glories where in fact there are blemishes. They are all human needs coming from inner complexes of feeling strong sense of insufficiency about oneself, in non-acceptance of myself as I am, and there was a need of being different from what I am, then only I can accept myself. Since I do not know how to change, I want others to accept me and have a sort of false satisfaction that I am acceptable. So let us recognize these tendencies in ourselves. What ignorance does to us is all because of identification with this body, mind, sense complex that creates all these complexes. And I can never feel sufficient as long as I measure myself by body, because poor body is insufficient. How much can you change and how much can you show? Regardless of what I do with my hair now, still there will be people who are, have better hair than I have, more height than I have, better color, and things like that. There always be. And therefore, it is not that we should not, I am not suggesting that you should not make up or something like that. That's not my point. You look good, that's good, nothing wrong. We like to see people good looking. And so there's no need to be sloppy, etc. That's not the point. But then going out of way, painstakingly out of way, to show myself is a lot of waste of energy. And many people don't even take notice of that, by the way. When I was young, with my elder brother, and I came home, we went to a park and then came home. I said, "Look at my shoes, how ugly they are." He asked me, very interesting. He says, "How many people's shoes you looked at? You are so concerned about your shoes. But how many people's shoes did you look at? I did not. Why do you think people are looking at your shoes and judging? But how we are suffering from so many complexes arising from a sense of insufficiency because of the identification, judging myself by this body, by the mind, by the... And this pretension, dambha, is only intensifying that identification. So more proud I am, more intense my identification becomes, and more pretending I am, this identification is, further strengthened. It's all ignorance. So ignorance makes me intensify ignorance, that's all. We should ask ourselves whether what I am doing is prompted by viveka or aviveka, ignorance or understanding. So to pretend makes no sense at all. Because how long can I pretend? The time will come when the truth will come out anyway. And I am always concerned it will come out. There are all kinds of cream, all kinds of things are coming, for making of the faces. And there are wrinkles at a certain age, that's something natural. But then I don't want people to think that I'm old. So there are some things coming, which I can apply. So the wrinkles are hidden. Except that thing will last for 3 hours, and then the wrinkles will come back. So when I go to party, then I do that because I expect to come home by 3 hours. But then as the party becomes, delayed, then I'm wondering, now what will happen? So I'll take out my little mirror and keep watching. Because Swami says that I can hide my wrinkles, but I cannot hide the knowledge of my wrinkles. I'm always aware of that. So what joy do I have of hiding my wrinkles when I'm suffering from the memory of those wrinkles? So pretension cannot give me happiness. It makes me more aware of my limitation. It is not that you expose our limitation, that's not the point. And you can take a little trouble to hide them also, nothing wrong in it. But going out of way and presenting those limitations as qualification is a miserable life. It's called dambha. The standard definition of dambha is Dharmadvajitvam. If you look at the Sanskrit text, Dharmadvajitvam means making a show of the good things that one is doing. Suppose you made a charity. Suppose you perform a religious action. Suppose you did something, some social activity. Dharmadvajitvam. Then making, blowing your trumpets or whatever about what I did. Meaning that demanding respect from others for what I did is also part of dambha. So that's how the standard definition of dambha is demanding respect by announcing or declaring what all I did. So there are people who all keep on always talking about what they have done. The self-glorification is always announced constantly. You know what I did, how much I did, and how much I did, and how much I went, and how much tapasya also. How much penance I am performing, I am japan, so that also declared. We should not declare anyway. But I am demanding it. I want so important, some way, demanding respect for that. This is also called dambha. And you said, this is only nothing but torturing ourselves. So how do we overcome this? Dambha, or pretending to be different from what I really am, arises from a strong sense of self-non-acceptance. Everybody has a self-non-acceptance anyway. But when those things become, inflated, strong sense of non-acceptance brings about the dambha, or the need to hide my blemishes and show them as my virtues. So we should examine our Adambhitvam or the tendency to pretend. Why do I want to pretend? Why do I want to show myself different from what I am? Why? I will get some respect, so what? What will it do to you? How much satisfaction can you get? And that's all temporary satisfaction. What is going to do to you? So we should spot this kind of needs in ourselves and slowly let them go. I cannot hold on to these false needs. And a graceful acceptance of myself, my limitations. A very important value of gracefully accepting my limitations. Recognizing that whatever is created is limited. What is called creation is from the perfect, the imperfect comes. So everything created, it comes from perfect. Purnamadaha, Purnamidam. The cause is perfection. The effect is always imperfect. So whatever is created is imperfect, including myself. It is not my fault that my body is what it is. It is not my fault that my nose is what it is. Or my mind, Swami, I can't remember. Well, that's what it is. I can't understand this. So, if we feel that there are limitations, then we should work on them. I'm not suggesting that accepting limitation means not doing something about them. If I feel that those limitations come in the way of my value or my goal, then I should work on them. But not hide them, not present them differently. Gracefully accept them. This is work I have to do. And this doesn't matter. My nose is like, doesn't matter. What will people say? Then let them say what they want to say. Whether, you see, one thing is that I am what I am because of judgment of Ishvara. Ishvara has made me, is it not so? So in the judgment of Ishvara, this is right. In your judgment, they always make fun of my nose when I was growing up. Compared with chimney, of a factory or mill, something like that. Your nose is like, your ears are like that. All kinds of things people say. And I used to feel bad, of course. But later I realized Ishvara has created this. In his judgment, this is the best. So should I accept Ishvara's judgment about myself? Or should I worry about the judgment of the world? And then graceful acceptance of what has been given to me. And when I feel that limitations should be overcome, because they are an obstacle to my goal, then I should certainly try to overcome. But many things don't matter. The shape of my nose does not matter. It doesn't come in the way of any spiritual progress. It comes in the progress. Your material progress, you may need to do something because in certain circles you must appear in a certain way, and therefore you may need to do that repair work. That's all right. But for a spiritual seeker, this doesn't matter really. And then, let it be. My hair, let it be. Slowly I'm losing, let it be. You're graying, all right. Wrinkles, what else? When we were celebrating in Sailorsburg, our Swami's, 80th birthday or something like that. So, you know something? These wrinkles, I've earned them. Rather than feeling that I have wrinkles, so I've earned them. So it's a matter of perception, is it not so? Not that you should be proud of them either. There is no need to feel miserable or feel bad about things. This is the reality of life. Graceful acceptance of realities about ourselves, where we cannot change. God give me serenity to accept gracefully what I cannot change. And many limitations I cannot change, the graceful acceptance will prevent me from this Adambhitvam or pretension. So, we work with pretension by gracefully accepting our self-acceptance, meaning accepting the limitation of body. That's what Ishvara has created. And I accept Ishvara's judgment about myself. That's how no need to pretend to be different from what I am. Adambhitvam. Then comes ahimsa. Himsa means violence. Prayanam Pidanam. Ahimsa means prayanam or Pidanam. Simple definition is not causing pain to any living being. In this days we should also include not causing pain even to the environment, to the nature. Not disturbing harmony, not causing pain to anybody. A value of not causing pain. Because I do not want others to cause pain to me. So ahimsa or non-violence is the most fundamental value. That's why you say yesterday, in Yoga Shastra also, yama and niyama, the 5 yama, what you should not do, ahimsa is the first one. Ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. Ahimsa, non-violence. Satya, non-falsehood. Brahmacharya, non-indulgence. Asteya, non-stealing. Aparigraha, non-holding. Is non. What is a don't, what we should not do. Of that, ahimsa or non-violence is first. And they say that the other 4, namely satyam, asteyam, brahmacharya, aparigraha, they are all nothing but refining ahimsa. Ahimsa or non-violence is primary value, and other four are for only refining. They are only nothing but the other facets of non-violence. And it is a primary value because I do not want to be violated. I do not want to be hurt at the physical level, nor do I want to be hurt at the emotional level. In words of again Swamiji, I want to live and live happily. The simple desire I have is, I want to live and live happily. But, you said yesterday, I have a twofold consciousness, that my neighbor also wants to live and live happily. So that's why cat and we are different from cat. Cat wants to live and live happily, but doesn't know that mouse also wants to live and live happily. So cat has no problem in making breakfast of mouse. But I am evolved, that's called evolution. Evolution is sensitivity. So we are much more sensitive than other creatures. Whereas they are not sensitive about the needs of others. Other creatures are only sensitive about their own needs. The human being has been given the sensitivity of the needs of others also. And that puts a lot of restriction on what I should do or what I should not do. And therefore, the simple rule here, Nahim Syat Sarva Bhutani. In the Veda it said, do not hurt any being, any living being, or any being, because I do not want to be hurt. So that fundamental need of mine, and an awareness that there is also the need of other living beings, brings about this value of ahimsa or non-violence. How Lord Krishna describes ahimsa in the Gita? 6th chapter, Lord Krishna says, Atma pamyena sarvatra samam pashyati arjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo matah. Lord Krishna says that, Sir, paramo Paramo Yogi Mata. This person is called a supreme yogi or exalted yogi. So any person can become an exalted yogi simply by this one value. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna. In every situation, he sees the sameness by putting himself as a standard. Meaning that if I was in that position, what kind of a behavior or treatment I would have expected. So to place myself in the position of the other one. I'm talking to you, I'm interacting with you or anybody. Then I should place myself in the position of you with whom I'm interacting. And ask myself, if I was in that position, what kind of a behavior or treatment would I have expected? That I would know. Then reminding that that person also expects that same kind of behavior or treatment from me, and therefore it is my duty to display that. So treating others as we treat ourselves. Well, easier said than done, but this is ahimsa. The ultimate in ahimsa is treating others as I treat myself. Paramo yogi, that is the supreme exalted yogi. Ideally, that is possible only when there is knowledge that his self is myself. Only I can treat him like I treat myself. Because the self is one. Who am I? I am the self of all. So when I am hurting other, I am hurting myself, really speaking, because the self that he is self that I am. But that is the ultimate knowledge that is to come to me. In preparation to that knowledge, the value, so living the life in keeping the reality is called value. So what's the reality? Reality is that the self that I am is the self that everyone is. And therefore, I should seek to treat others as I treat myself. I would never want to hurt myself. Always I would want to make myself happy. Therefore my attempt should be to make others happy. I would never want to make myself unhappy. Never attempt to see that you do not become instrumental in making someone else unhappy. This one basic value can transform us completely and immediately qualify us for the knowledge, because I'm living life based on the knowledge. What's the knowledge? The self is one. So ahimsa is all values basically. All values are based on this reality that is oneself. But particularly ahimsa, non-violence, is a value based on the oneness of the Atma, oneness of the self. And therefore Yoga Shastra says a lot about ahimsa, and the life of non-violence will bring a lot of accomplishments, spiritual accomplishments also. So ahimsa. And I can hurt somebody else. At two levels, I can hurt the person physically, personal living being, or hurt them emotionally. So ahimsa means a commitment, not toward others at the physical level or at the emotional level. The second one also is more subtle, not hurting them at the emotional level. Physical level, of course, we do hurt. When does hurting take place anyway? When does violence take place? Whenever I am controlled by my passion. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 16th chapter, Trividam naragasyedam dvaram nasanam atmanah kamaha krodha tatha lobha tasmat etat trem jaje. Lord Krishna says this is the threefold gateway to hell or to suffering. Three gates or threefold gate of suffering. Kamaha, Krodha, Lobha. Kama means craving. Krodha means anger. And Lobha means greed. So whenever I act out of the impulse of Kama, Krodha or Lobha, Kama means a desire that I cannot control, a craving that I cannot control, then I am controlled by the craving. Anger, when I cannot control the anger, I am controlled by the anger, or I am controlled by greed. Then my action is going to be a violent action. Kama, Krodha, Lobha. These three, in fact. So the Arjuna's question was, what is that makes a person perform or go against his own values, perform a papa, perform a dharma, perform unrighteous action, perform a wrong action? Kama, Lord Krishna said, you should have this Kama, Krodha, Lobha. If you look at Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna then says, Kamesha, Krodesha. What is Kama becomes Krodha. Anger is the result of unfulfilled desire, unfulfilled expectation. And greed or lobha is the result of fulfilled desire. See, desire, when it doesn't get fulfilled, turns to anger. When it gets fulfilled, turns to greed. Like putting butter into fire, the desire becomes again more and more intense. So Kama, Krodha, and Lobha. We recognize these three as the passions. And whenever I act as controlled by this passion, my action is invariably going to be a violent action. Where I will violate somebody's right, somebody's dignity, somebody's honor, somebody's requirement, somebody's feelings, somebody's sensitivities, because I become blind. When this Kama, Krodha, any passion takes over me, it is not my Viveka Buddhi, not my freedom or not my free will that comes into play. It is a passion that controls what I do, and therefore I lose all my sense of proportion. That time all my education does not come into play. I may be giving a long lecture about ahimsa, whatever, but get overcome by anger or any passions. Everything disappears at that time. And then what I do is unbecoming of me. Therefore, in order that we are able to observe the value of non-violence, we should be constantly working on these passions of Kama, Krodha and Lobha. Because they prompt us to become violent. And you can see in the whole world, these three fellows are doing all the damage in the world. Kama is lust also. So all kinds of abuse that we find here all comes from Kama. People cannot control that, and that's how abusing. Krodha, all violence, result of Krodha. You cannot control your anger when you hurt other people. Lobha, all corruption is the result of lobha or greed. Remove these three, the world will turn into heaven. And who has them? Only human being has them. No other creature has Kama or Krodha or Lobha, by the way. No creatures are controlled by their lust. There's only season, Rutu. Otherwise, they are not controlled by the lust. Not that a dog looks at a female dog or something. There is no such thing. Only in a certain period of time that is determined for them. That's all. There is no anger in them. That they do something out of anger or greed. Their dog likes them, they keeps on eating and eating, and it stops. Your dog also, if you give the food, it eats to the content and stops it. walks away. As I said yesterday, the lion also walks away. I want, in the morning, give me idli. My stomach can I go half. I take one. Sambar is good. Chutney is good. Another one and a half. Another one. Before I realize my stomach is bloating. That can happen to me. It cannot happen to a dog. It only will eat one in case. It won't go for the second. These are all built into them. But human being, the most evolved creature. And they were most helpless creature. Helpless with reference to its impulses. There were lots of my behavior is controlled by the impulses. So we should be watching ourselves. What right now guides my behavior? What is the nature of thought in my mind? Before I perform an action, I ask myself, is there kama in there? Is there krodha in there? Is there lobha? And other fellows like jealousy. Is there jealousy here? Is there hatred here? Is there frustration here? All these, what we call the demoniac tendencies, asura vrittis, whenever we become controlled by them, our action will be a violent action. So watch out. Before saying anything, before doing anything, before any action, walking, talking, eating, drinking, anything, we should be aware of the thoughts and emotions and motivations going on in our mind. What am I going to say right now? Is it out of jealousy? Out of hatred? Dislike? Out of anger? Out of frustration? Stop it. What I'm going to do now, out of anger, frustration, stop it. So two-step response. In the words of Puja Swami. One-step response is acting out of impulse. Anger, says something, this person says something, right away I replied. He gave me one, I gave him two. Retaliation. This is the impulsive action, which mostly takes place in the world. And if you observe ourselves, a lot of our actions also may be found to be impulsive. That is one step response. What is the two-step response? Step back. Ask myself, what is it that is motivating me to do this? Is it an impulse? Is it kama? Krodha? Lobha? Is it jealousy? Is it greed? Is it frustration? Stop it. And bring back the viveka. Bring back the free will. And bring back the memory of what I have studied, what I have learned, what I know, and what is appropriate in this situation. Therefore, the way to remain free from violence is to keep under control our impulses. Lord Krishna summarized as kama, krodha and lobha, but any other impulse also can be included. That not a non-impulsive behavior, a deliberate action. An impulsive action, in all likelihood, would be a violent action. There is a value for deliberate action. So, either the behavior can be impulsive, avegatmaka, impulsive, or vivegatmaka, deliberate, in sense of proportion. And when you live like this for a long time, it will become what? Sahaja, become spontaneous. So that is called moksha. When you become non-violent, spontaneously you are liberated. One value, spontaneous. So we keep practicing constantly. To such a point that it becomes spontaneous, you are mukta. As simple as that. We will continue with the discussion of ahimsa, but this is the basic thing about violence. If we understand violence, then we will know how to remain free from violence. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande